Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day today. So I am so excited for this week's video because we are making a vintage Laura Ashley dress in preparation for the Pride and Prejudice re-release in theaters. I am so excited. And this dress in particular, I've actually been waiting to make for quite a while now. So I have made this pattern before. It is McCall's 4547. I've actually made this twice before. I have made the shorter version here, and then I made the shorter version with long sleeves. But for the movie release, I'm going to be making this long version, and I'm so excited to make a long dress with this pattern. I adore this pattern. Out of every Laura Ashley sewing pattern I have used, this is by far my favorite. It has the empire waist, the puff sleeves. It's a really beautiful silhouette, and it's quite close fitting but really comfortable. Absolutely love it. But what I'm most excited about is the fabric. So Lauren Johnson made this pattern several years ago, and the fabric that she used to make her dress, I swooned over. I loved the fabric. It was also vintage Laura Ashley. But if you've ever shopped for vintage Laura Ashley fabric before, it's very hard to find if you're looking for a specific print. And even if you find said print, a lot of the times it's quite expensive. Well, a couple of years ago now, I found the exact same fabric on eBay, and just look at this fabric. Can you see why I was swooning over it? It's this beautiful, like purpley mauve color with this darling little floral print, and I am just so excited. I have already cut out the pattern, so it doesn't look like there's very much here, but I do have enough to make this dress. I did have to alter it a little bit on the length, which I think will be okay. It's still going to be a maxi dress, and I think it's going to be stunning. So to make this video kind of interesting compared to my last ones, I figured we would focus on all things period dramas. I might watch the old Pride and Prejudice in preparation for the new one being re-released. I'll show you guys some of my favorite period drama books. I'll wear all of my dresses. We'll make tea, of course. Maybe we'll even make a little sweet treat to go with an afternoon tea. Just all things Jane Austen inspired. Fun fact about me, I actually had never watched a period drama till I was about 19 years old. And the instant I watched it, I just thought, where have these been all of my life? I love these so, so much. Let me know what your guys' favorite period drama is in the comments down below. And not only your favorite period drama, but also your favorite rendition of a book or a different period drama that was redone someplace else, like Pride and Prejudice. There's a big division on the Colin Firth Pride and Prejudice or the Matthew Macfadyen Pride and Prejudice. I love both for different reasons. I love the BBC Colin Firth version because I feel like it reigns so true to the book, and Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy is chef's kiss. But the 2005 Pride and Prejudice is stunning. I love the filming of this movie. I love the music of this movie, and it's just a stunning film. But it was the first Pride and Prejudice I had ever watched. I did not know the story of Pride and Prejudice, and I was so confused. So if you have never read the book, watched the movie of the old version of Pride and Prejudice, I would highly suggest watching the almost 6-hour version or reading the book, because the 2005 one jumps around a lot, so if you're not familiar with the story, it can tend to get a little bit confusing. So just a pro tip if you are new to period dramas. But I need to stop talking and go make myself some tea. I have a fun tea thing to show you that's actually vintage Laura Ashley to go with the vintage Laura Ashley theme. I found it on Poshmark, and it also matches my dress. So let's go make ourselves a cup of tea, and I think we're gonna start working on the skirt of this dress because I just want something easy. I don't have too much time to sew today, but I wanted to get this video started. So make yourself a cup of tea, and let's make the dress of my dreams. So here is the little vintage Laura Ashley piece I was telling you guys about. How darling. It's a tea-in-one set. I've always wanted one of these. I've actually had this saved on Poshmark for a while to buy, and I just love it. I want to keep it out because purple and green is kind of going to be the colors in our kitchen. So I just had to show you guys that. I love the print on it as well. I think it's just really quite stunning. So I'm going to make myself some chamomile tea, I think, and then we'll start working on the skirt. All right, let's take this to the table and start working on the skirt. So I am filming this actually quite a bit later in the day. That's why I'm already having to turn the overhead lights on. But Caleb and Rosie are out picking up supper right now. So I quite literally have about 10 minutes to work on this dress. So that's why we're starting with the skirt. I just need to pin together the skirt pieces, and then it's just a bunch of straight seams. So I already have my sewing machine all set up. I'm going to pour myself a cup of tea, and let's try to finish at least the skirt tonight. Okay, skirt pieces are all pinned together, and wow, this is going to be stunning. And yes, Mr. Darcy is overseeing my entire sewing project, and he thinks that my cutting job of pattern pieces is barely tolerable. So, harsh critic, but let's go sew this skirt together. Ah! Hello, hello. So we just had a lovely breakfast. I call that my Pride and Prejudice breakfast. I thought it would suit the theme of this week's video very well. And I watered my plants this morning along with that. So I just put them in their rightful spot. So now we can start working on the dress. So the only thing that I need to do to finish the skirt other than hemming it is I need to serge the inside seams. I was going to just zigzag stitch them because I have to set my serger up every time I use it, but I'm always happy when I use my serger. So what my thought is I will set this aside for now, and if there's any more serging that needs to be done on the bodice pieces, we'll do it all at the same time. Not that it's hard to set my serger up, but it's just one more thing to get out. So that means we can start working on the bodice. My plan is to at least get the bodice constructed, even if we don't get it attached, because once it's attached, it will be pretty quick to get this done. So I'm going to grab the pieces that I need. It's all been sitting on the table, and we will start putting that together. Let's get started. But before we start sewing, I think I am going to put on a record because I'm probably not going to talk very much in this next portion, but let me flip you guys around and show you what our options are. So I do separate my records into kind of like seasons of when I like to listen to things. So this is my like spring and summer. We have Sense and Sensibility, which is one of my favorites. This is by Keith and Kristen Getty. This is like a Irish American album, and I love this one so much. La La Land, of course. Blossom Dearie, who I love. This is Joe Hisaishi, and this is the composer who does all the music for the Studio Ghibli films. Love. Leve, of course, and more Leve, of course. Stella Cole, I love this album. I think this one might be the one we listened to. I have another Keith and Kristen Getty. This is like a modern hymns, I would say. And then we have Tchaikovsky, Swan Lake, which this one's out for Rosie because she loves to dance to this. But I think Stella Cole is going to be the music of choice. So there is the bodice, pretty much done. We are going to work on the casing that's going to go around the neckline here to hold the drawstring, and then we're going to make the drawstring as well. I'm hoping to at least get this done and then probably call it a day for this afternoon. But this is a part that I start getting so excited when you really start seeing it come together. And I know I keep going on and on about it, but this fabric is just stunning. I love it so much. So let's do some pressing. I do need to serge all of the inside seams of this part too before I attach the casing. I learned that the hard way. When I made this dress last time, I had to attempt to zigzag stitch all of these when everything was already put together, when I already had the sleeves attached and everything, and it was a nightmare. So I am going to do that when I serge off the insides of the skirt as well. So I'm just going to set this aside to all serge at the same time so that we can get it done and over with in one fell swoop. So I'm just going to set this aside, and then we'll start working on the casing. So I think I'm going to stop here. I added the casing to the bodice, and that's pretty much all I've done. But I have a couple more things I need to get done before Rosie gets up from her nap. I need to fold some laundry and do some dishes, very fun things. So I need to also take the footage off my camera so I can film a little bit more. So that's one of the first things I need to do this afternoon before doing anything else. So I'll talk to you guys here in just a little while. So the dress is done and I will show you guys a full reveal of it very soon, but this video has just been all over the place. So shortly after starting this video, I got pretty sick. I was sick for like 2.5 weeks, got better, was able to go see Pride and Prejudice, and I will put a picture over here of me and my sisters going to see it. It was so much fun. If anyone else went and seen the re-release of Pride and Prejudice, I would love to know what you guys thought. And if you took someone with you who had never seen it before, my younger sister had never seen this version before, and it was a joy to watch her watch the movie for the first time. So it was very fun, but I was able to go, and then I got sick shortly after that. It was like a laryngitis, so I apologize for my voice. I will try to keep the talking portion to a minimum, but before I show you guys the dress, I wanted to share some fun period drama movies and some period drama activities to do. I realized I had grand intentions for this video of sitting down and writing letters with you guys and going through a bunch of books, and because I got sick, I was not able to. So here is the plan. I will show you guys the videos. I am not going to do a voiceover of the books. I will just show you guys all of the books. And if any of you are curious on the editions of the books, let me know in the comments down below and I'll tell you which one they are. But I'll just do a little flat lay and show you guys my favorite period drama books. And then I wanted to talk about one period drama activity to make your life feel just a little bit more magical. So let's get into movies first thing. One of my favorite TV shows of all time is Downton Abbey. If you've never seen this, highly recommend it. I loved this TV show. You want to feel like you're in a period drama, this is the show for you. Love it so much. Had to mention Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 version, and the BBC version, which I have the Blu-ray of, but I did not grab. But this is just perfection. Don't know if you'd consider this a period drama, but this rendition of Cinderella is one of my favorite live action remakes that Disney has ever done. It's just stunning, and her dress is beautiful. Love. Another one of my favorites growing up was Ever After with Drew Barrymore. This is a Cinderella retelling, and it's just stunning. And her Breathe dress, if you've never seen the movie, you should watch it and then you'll know what I'm talking about, is just beautiful. So this is a really fun one. I think this is from the 90s or potentially early 2000s, so it's very nostalgic for a 90s baby like myself. Another one is The Inheritance. This is definitely not a high quality movie, but this was a adaptation of Louise May Alcott's book, and it's just a sweet story, so this is a fun one. Another one, of course, is another Jane Austen, Sense and Sensibility. I love this version and the BBC version. That's another one of my favorites. But this one will always have a special place in my heart, and I love the soundtrack. I have the vinyl of the soundtrack that you guys saw earlier in the video, but so good. It also has Alan Rickman in it as Colonel Brandon, and I love Alan Rickman, so this is a very fun one. Another one that I just think is so funny is another Jane Austen one, and this is Northanger Abbey. I loved this movie. I watched this with my best friend and it just made me laugh. I forget how funny Jane Austen is sometimes, and this one in particular just really made me giggle. So if you've never seen this one, it's a little bit more of a fall time movie, I would say, so maybe save it to watch this coming fall, but this is a fun one as well. And then my last one, I don't know if you'd necessarily deem a period drama. It's definitely not like Pride and Prejudice era, but I love anything Beatrix Potter, and it's the movie Miss Potter. I love this movie. If you do not want to cry, I would not suggest watching this because it is a bit of a sad story, but you get to see Hilltop Farm, her actual home in the movie, and some of the land that she set aside for the National Trust. And I can't remember what the land is called. I'd love to visit there one day, but this is just a really sweet movie and I love this movie so much. So hopefully you guys have some new suggestions in there. And then one more thing before I show you guys the books as an activity is handwriting letters. Let me get a little sip of tea to help my voice before we talk about this. So I have really been getting back into pen pals and writing letters to people. I so much prefer it over even texting or calling on the phone. Snail mail is some of my favorite mail to get. So I wanted to share with you guys some of my favorite letter writing sets. These are all from Rifle Paper Company. I will link them down below. So the first one is this little stationery set. This is almost like a postcard type style for stationery, but I think it is just so stunning. It has a little rose in the corner with the scalloped edges, and then this is what it looks like on the back, and then they do come with envelopes as well. So if you're wanting to write something a little shorter, these are darling. And then the next two are the letter writing sets that Rifle Paper Company sells. Now I will have to say these are a bit expensive, but they do usually have 20% coupon codes quite often. So just maybe keep a lookout for one of those. But here's the first one. This is their English Rose set, and you open it up and it has this really beautiful pen with these darling envelopes. I think they're so cute. And then the paper is like this scalloped paper, and it's really stunning quality, the quality of the paper is. And then you also get these little sticky wax seals you can put on the back. My camera, so there we go, it's not wanting to focus. So there's the first one, and this other one is my favorite for the spring and summer because I feel like the colors are just so summery. I love this. This is their Dahlia print, and it's the same thing. You get the pen with the adhesive wax seals and the envelopes and the paper. So let me show you guys a little bit more of a close-up of this. Here are the envelopes. I think they're just so pretty. I think they're releasing this as fabric soon, and I'm very excited about it. And then here is what the paper looks like. So sweet. The pen is the same. And then here is one of the wax seals. I've already used one of them to write to a friend. So if you're looking for something that's just a little more like slow living and just makes you feel like you're in a period drama, light some candles and write a letter to a friend. It takes some time, but honestly, it's so rewarding and just so fun. I love just slowing down and taking the time to write a letter. And I always feel so loved when I get a long letter in the mail because I know it does take quite a bit of time and thought to write out a letter. So it's a very fun activity. Also good for your penmanship, building sentences, expanding your vocabulary. It's just all the good things. So that is one of my main suggestions. So now I'm gonna go set up a little area on my table and I'll show you guys some of my favorite period drama books. Here is, oh, that was not very graceful. Here is the stack of them. And these are just some of my favorite books. This is definitely not a complete list, but just some of my favorites that I pulled out of my bookshelf. So let me go show these to you guys, and then I'll show you guys the dress in all of her glory. All right, so there were the books, and here is the dress. I will put some vertical videos over here so you guys can see the full length of it. But you guys, I was so happy with how this dress turned out. So happy. It has reminded me to make longer dresses because I love longer dresses. They're so easy to wear, especially if you have a little toddler running around, but you like to wear dresses. Highly recommend. Here is the back of it. My zipper, unfortunately, is not purple because I bought a purple zipper, but it was bright purple. So I just had to use a tan zipper. You can probably see it a little bit. But overall, so happy with the dress. This is the best version of this pattern that I have made. I feel like all of my seams lined up really well and the fit is spot on. So super happy with it. But with all that being said, I am going to end the video here. If you guys did enjoy this video and the chaos of it all, please let me know in a comment down below. I always love reading them, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.